Our folks live rich and varied lives. And because we work so hard to expose the folks we serve to parts of life that they had never even heard of before.
It's a wonderful feeling when you can meet up with some of the clients and they come up and they're confident. They have a desire to be able to participate with you that they wouldn't have had if they weren't be around.
Road to Responsibility is one of the largest nonprofit disability service agencies in the Commonwealth. Its only goal is to help the developmentally disabled and their loved ones lead the best lives possible. RTR does this now in more than 50 residences, work programs, and businesses, from teams to individual jobs, and Open Roads Day Hab programs, all of which build a sense of accomplishment and pride in the individuals involved. Sue Powers is in charge of residential services at RTR, whose caring staff mirrors her involvement.
We have some very dedicated staff that work very hard, and we've put a lot of work into our houses over the last couple of years, and we work very hard to make sure everybody has their own individual bedroom. Overall, we have staff that know our individuals and are willing to go to a lot of different trainings and learn to support our individuals as best they can. We're proud of our quality.
Road to Responsibility's Day Hab services are called Open Roads programs because they do just that. State agencies come to RTR above nearly all others for the toughest cases because they have the track record of helping these individuals involved. Jackie BUBAR heads 5 South Shore locations for RTR, providing critical services to about 225 individuals.
I think Road to Responsibility has an enormous commitment to the individuals that they serve, and I think that's very evident in their ability to give client choices, to really look at the individual and look at where they can be best served. Many of the staff have been here long term. The pay rate that they get is not always the best. However, they come in every day. They are loyal. They are dedicated. So many of the staff here have a passion for what they do, and you can see that in their day-to-day, working with the individuals.
Sue Sullivan's sister Mary and her family have benefited from RTR for years. RTR was there when Mary needed exceptional care after life-saving surgery.
Unfortunately, though, after she had that surgery, she forgot how to swallow and she couldn't eat. So they had to send her to a nursing home, and actually in Plymouth, Mayflower Nursing Home, and they thought she'd never go home. But again, Road to Responsibility was there. They visited her in the hospital and at the nursing home, and sure enough, didn't Mary, she has tremendous inner strength. She pulled herself through it. They said she'd never walk, she'd never eat again, and she did, and she went home. With Mary's level of disabilities, I wouldn't know how to take care of Mary. And when I talk to people who do care for Mary, they love Mary. Everyone is so connected to her, and her quality of life is just so much better. She can do things that she'd never be able to do if she was just living at home. And that's the kind of environment Road to Responsibility inspires.
Road to Responsibility's work programs, with 5 locations from Plymouth to Braintree, serves more than 300 individuals. Many of the staff on these and all RTR efforts have been there from 15 to 20 years or more, a testament to the lack of normal high turnover rate in this dedicated but woefully underpaid field. And with these work programs, from group assignments to the individual jobs of the most highly functioning, a further statement to the camaraderie instilled for many years by DONNA LEACH.
I've been with Road to Responsibility for 25 years now, and when I started on the floor as a work supervisor, and gradually I myself worked my way up the ladder, becoming a case manager and a program manager, and now I oversee the 5 work programs.
Good afternoon, Nathalie. May I help you?
Each of the work programs at RTR has a program manager who is actually in charge of the day-to-day oversight of the entire program, the staff, and the individuals that we serve. Underneath that, the manager are usually two case managers in each program, and they're actually the liaison between what goes on here at the work program and what goes on at home. So they're able to assist people with their home needs as it would relate to work. They're also very instrumental in all of the communication that goes on with our funding agencies as well. And then we have employment specialists who are the folks that do the nut and bolt work, working on the floor, taking people out into the community to either work off-site or to help them get a competitive job, or whether it's to take them out for a reinforcer they may have earned.
Right now we have relationships with over 300 businesses in the community that provide us with work on a regular basis, and that really sets us apart.
The staff that RTR hires are all fully trained in with their mandated trainings, but they're just a great group of people. They're here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to work with the individuals we serve.
One of Donna's consumers in Braintree, like many of those at RTR, is an amazing story of toughness and resiliency. Mark, the youngest of 7 children, began working at RTR when he was 22. His sister, Patty Garrity, has been with him all the way.
The twist to Mark's story is at the age of 24, he suffered a traumatic brain injury. So, you've got a special needs individual that suffered an injury that he had a 10% chance of surviving. He was unconscious for 3 months, and what does he do when he wakes up? What does he do? He is not able to speak at all, and he looks at me, and he gives me the symbol for work. Through his entire rehabilitation, which was 13 months in the hospital, 2.5 years outpatient, every time he had to reach a goal, he talked about work, and I said to him, you reach that goal, you learn how to sit up, you learn how to eat, you learn how to walk, you're going back to work. Finally, he did. And it's his life. I mean, his friends, the work that he does. Mark's not able to create his own opportunity, but what Road's Responsibility did is they were still there for him 4 years later. You give Mark the opportunity, he's going to step into it, and he's going to do it, and he's going to grow. But without that opportunity and someone, like Road's Responsibility to provide it, he would do nothing.
Ongoing advocacy meetings with state and federal personnel and legislators are a major part of the continuing effort at RTR, often subject to the constant threat of budget cuts to human services, all of which make Road to Responsibility's private fundraising even more important.
If I were to wave the magic wand, I would have the private folks, the private sector, be able to have a unity with RTR, to be able to be a participant, to be able to be an ongoing group, not just coming in at a fundraising activity and providing a sum of money, but to have an adjunct, to have a group with RTR, which isn't the board of directors, who is the governmental structure, but a group who can be benefactors, if you want. Just some group of folks that have taken it on as a cause, not just for financial reasons or financial benefit, but also to be able to provide time, input, help us out.
Jack PYNE is a CPA, so he knows the money battles. As a longtime RTR director, he knows the specific needs of a great organization. As the brother of Rick, a highly functioning individual at RTR, he also knows what all of this means to his and every other family.
It's been terrific. He's, as I say, just content. He's actually reached the point now where occasionally he will say, no, I don't want to go to the family party. We're going to the movies, or we're going shopping, or something along that line. I think he's very happy with the care he gets, the staff, the help. He's got an exercise regimen that they make sure he does every week, and he's lost 100 pounds since my mother passed away, and through a combination diet, exercise, he's doing things that he never ever would have done. In the old days, he just watched television, but now he's out there playing softball, he's swimming, he's this, he's that. They're very busy. Enjoys going to work. He would tell me, for example, before the last softball game, John Fortuna's coming tonight. His housemate, Joe Viola, Joe V, has been a longtime friend. It's amazing, and it's evident in their softball games and what have you that they do really enjoy each other and are happy. And one thing you'll notice, nobody's ever a bum because they missed anything. It's kind of remarkable, and maybe that has something to teach us about life.
Life at RTR is made better by a staff of more than 400 in the field, working with all efforts and directly with every single individual. This care and commitment shows through to those served, their families, and the peer groups who judge RTR.
The way we find out we're doing well is an agency comes out. It's an independent agency established in 1966 called CARF, the Commission for Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. And they look at all of our paperwork, they interview staff, they interview individuals, and we've always got the highest standards. Since we started 11 years ago at Open Roads.
Road to Responsibility really tries to make lives better. We listen to our individuals, we listen to our families. We want them to have the best quality of life. Everyone deserves the best quality of life, and that's what we want. And whatever we can do to help them get there and be happy, that's what we're going to do.
One of my greatest experiences working for Road to Responsibility is working with a particular individual who grew up with a lot of, I would say, misfortune, and his behavior has suffered, mostly in his social skills. We came up with a goal to take him on a vacation to Florida. So we rented an RV, and it was, I was especially proud of this because a lot of people didn't think it would ever happen. It was a goal that was developed in hope, and the fact that we got it off, and this individual had an incredible time. He went swimming with the dolphins down in Discovery Cove, and really we were there for a full week, and just being able to hop in the RV and go and see this person just enjoy life completely without worries, without anxiety. It was the most rewarding thing I've done with this company.
The mental health of each person served by RTR is critical. Equally important today is the physical health. Individuals who used to be with Road to Responsibility into their 40s and 50s are now staying into their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. RTR's leadership stance is reflected by the information and opportunities it offers families and its consumers.
A couple of months ago, I had the distinct pleasure of meeting our one of our guest speakers today, Bob Johnson from Special Olympics, Massachusetts. And so I asked Bob to come out here to speak to you today a little bit about the health initiative and a little bit about the role that Special Olympics plays in fostering healthy lifestyles for the people that we all know, love, and care so much about.
Since the closing of the institutions back in the mid-70s, the life expectancy of a person with intellectual disabilities has increased by 26 years. And so what we need to do is we need to provide people with intellectual disabilities access to health care.
Whether it's a home of your own with all the community activities that go with it, an Open Roads program designed to meet the needs of every person, or a work program where you can also make friends or progress to an independent job of your own, Road to Responsibility is there to serve the needs of its special consumers. Just ask Nancy Moore, sister of Megan.
We're thrilled with RTR. We're thrilled with how Meg has blossomed and developed, and we're just thrilled with what she's done. It's hard to even fit in sometimes when Meg is, this night is going to the library, this night is the dance, this day is going bowling, we have this, they make sure the weekends they have things planned, and they also go on a lot of trips together. She's a better social life than I do.
The final element that adds a lot to the giving effort at RTR is its board of directors.
You know, when I think about all the time and effort they give to us, it really takes my breath away, because none of them get paid a dime. They're all enormously successful people. They love the mission of RTR, and they're committed to it. And because of their efforts, we had our first fundraiser last fall, first fundraiser in 3 years, and that turned into a fabulous success. And that was largely due to board members past and present who really gave of themselves and their connections and got a wonderful response to us. And those fundraising dollars are like gold to companies like Road to Responsibility, because while our programs are funded primarily through the state funds don't cover everything.
Road to Responsibility. 500 caring people working hard every day with a single mission: making lives better.
Our focus is, you know, on our services and our individuals.
I think the one thing that has kept me at RTR so long is that I've worked in other agencies in the past. I think RTR is very family-orientated. Staff and individuals, obviously that is what we're here for. That's the most important thing we do.
I'm amazed when I walk into these programs and see, you know, these individuals and what they're working on, and over the months and years, that how they improve and really, you know, get to a point where their life is so much of a higher quality than what it may have been.
I rely on them incredibly. I mean, they support Mark and they support me. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that.
When I look at my sister, I feel so bad, you know, that she has to go through all of what she goes through. And I wish I could do more for her. Yeah, I just hate, she's had so much suffering in her life and so many obstacles, it almost doesn't seem fair. You know, that I have so much and she doesn't, you know. But she's a remarkable girl. I just look at her and she is in pain and she smiles. You know, it's just an amazing thing. These people, they're here probably to help us appreciate, you know, when we think we have a bad day. You know, a bad day for me is like probably a minute of Mary's life at times, you know, so they're just very, very special people.
Whenever you're ready, man. All right.